Welcome back, guys, to the Sports Junkies Podcast. This is Cam and Kid, and we are coming at you today with the Georgia game. This Georgia Bulldogs team is number 1 in the nation. Last time we talked about Georgia, they was number 2, right? It was like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. It was after we pummeled Arkansas. We absolutely cooked them. Humbled. Yeah, they've been very humbled because that started their 3-game losing streak. Which is crazy because don't get me wrong, Arkansas is a great team, but I kind of saw this coming. Like, what did I tell you? I told you yesterday that, you know, there's tiers to the SEC, A, B, C, and D, right? I still think Arkansas, I would say, I'm not going to give Arkansas a B tier yet. You know, a B tier team would be like Auburn, you know, like Florida. The teams that are good, but they're nowhere near elite, really. Last year, Florida found a way to sneak into the A tier. They're back down to around that B tier now, but like, yeah, man, I just don't think Arkansas. I mean, obviously Sam Pittman has come to that team, and he's installed a belief factor. Those kids have bought into what he's brought for that team, and it's great for them because you can definitely see the energy, a shift of momentum, a shift of energy when you look at Arkansas. But he hasn't recruited yet. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, a couple transfers, that's not going to turn this team. I remember guys were saying they were going to go 10-2. Yeah, okay. Not yet. You know, maybe next year, maybe the year after. But Sam's got to build that team up, man. He's not going to. Come on. He's in the SEC West. Okay? Now, we talk about the East all day. That's nothing. When you look at the SEC East, it's like, all right, Georgia, maybe Florida might do some damage. Or
them Kentucky Wildcats.
Them Kentucky. Am I disrespecting Kentucky?
Them Kentucky Wildcats.
Kentucky 6-1.
They've been doing better here recently.
Kentucky's always like been a decent team. It's just, come on. I mean, Mark Stoops is a great coach, and he's brought Kentucky to heights that they weren't at before him. But you can't, recruiting wise, you're not going to convince somebody to go to Kentucky. I'm sorry, it's just not going to happen. Yeah, good luck. But once again, Arkansas is in that SEC West, and that's way more tougher. You got LSU whenever they decide to be good. Ed Orgeron's fired, by the way. He's going to finish the season, but he's gone. You got Auburn. No matter how bad Auburn looks, they're a team you got to watch out for, and that's exactly why I told you Auburn would beat Arkansas this week. And then you got, of course, we're not even gonna say it. We ain't gonna say it. Well, yeah, actually, we will because they lost Bama. So, GG's Arkansas. I'll tell you one thing. GG's Arkansas. 4-3. I think now they were 4-0 at one point. It sucks, but you know your time's coming. Just obviously not this season. I could have told you that ahead of time. Definitely the fans who thought they were going to beat Georgia are definitely not as that optimistic anymore. Respectfully, they just needed that quick humbling. But we had to get them back into the real world of the SEC and let them know this is not a game. But shouts out UGA, man, because we're doing some special things this year. And
this defense is looking phenomenal. Like we said, it's like the 85 Bears for college football. They just need this title to secure the legacy.
To secure this defensive legacy. And this bye week right here is huge because this team is looking
much needed.
They've been looking a little tired against Auburn. They look tired against Kentucky, and you can tell this bye week is just going to work wonders. Not to mention we should have JT
seven straight games will do that to you though.
Yeah, I mean, especially when you play teams like 3 straight ranked opponents, you know, SEC.
3 straight ranked opponent, and then you opened against what everyone thought was the top 3 team in the nation.
Yeah, so it's like, you know, it's very much needed. As painful as it is because now I got to watch the Steelers. Even though we won last week, I don't know why we're winning, but I guess the guys forgot what tanking is, and we need a quarterback, and winning isn't going to get us one. But yeah, man, I think Georgia's doing something special, and I know there's this thing with hope that, you know, as a UGA fan, you just never want to get too confident, but I'm not too confident, respectfully, but I think I'm more confident that Florida lost. Honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you. You're more confident. I think that made me more confident. In what? In Georgia's ability to what? In Georgia's it's really Georgia's ability to win the SEC. Honestly, it's more because we were talking about it at one point. I was like, because we started talking about what we needed to do to secure the SEC East, and Florida's loss really just secured it for us in all. Like, even if we lose to Florida and, like, honestly lose another game, I think we still would win. No, because we'd have Kentucky right there. Kentucky has one Kentucky is on us still. It's crazy. Yeah. But I think we've really just secured the SEC East with this Florida loss, honestly.
And before I was really like I really told you I was like this is really our last opponent, honestly. Like, I'm not trying to disrespect Missouri or Tennessee.
Yeah.
But this is really our last opponent with Florida. And then they just lost to LSU, and I was like, they might not be that big of a game now, because they were ranked 20th, and if they would be LSU, they probably moved up to probably like 17, 18.
Yeah.
And it'd been the only top ranked match, or no, because this week is a bye week. But this week, no ranked teams play, which is crazy. I think it's the first week this year I think this has happened. But yeah, it's I don't know, the LSU loss, because LSU has not been a good team this year, honestly. And I think we talked about it, how we said LSU, or I said LSU could beat Florida, and I really didn't believe that. I just said it to say it. And they did it somehow. Ed Orgeron's still going to lose his job. But this loss to LSU has really just made me feel better about Georgia, just because I know we can go to Florida, or not really go to Florida, but we can go in that Florida game, beat them.
Jacksonville.
Beat Missouri, Tennessee, Charleston Southern, even though they're super dangerous this year. And Georgia Tech, you know what I'm saying?
Did you just say Charleston Southern was super dangerous?
Yeah, I honestly don't know their record. I just seen them, and I just said they're dangerous. They're an FCS school, man. I don't really pay attention to them. I don't know, man. They 2-3, man. The Buccaneers.
You know, college football's having a down week when College Game Day's headed to UCLA versus Oregon. You kind of know there's nothing going on. Luckily, I'll tune in for some. I don't know who's all playing this week. I don't know what's going on, but I think Ohio State and Michigan are no. I don't know. I know there's got to be some rivalry games. I know. I think Penn State and Ohio State.
If there's a rivalry game, it's probably not interesting just because there's no ranked opponents playing this year or this week.
I think. You got your. You're gonna have.
Let's see. I got the whole schedule this week pulled up.
Okay.
So. Oh no! Why would they pull up last week's schedule? We need week 8. Come on now, ESPN. Y'all are trolling, man. Load it up. Come on, man. I'm so sorry. No. Georgia Southern, South Alabama. No, I'm just kidding. They played last week.
Hey, that'd be. I'd rather watch that. Yeah, I'd rather watch another toilet bowl, man. UConn won, bro. UConn won a game.
UConn finally won a game.
They finally won a game.
Okay, I got the games pulled up.
Okay.
If this was 2-3 years ago, UCF and Memphis would have been an interesting game. But now you can buy a ticket for $8.
God.
Oklahoma, Kansas, Northwestern, Michigan, Illinois, Penn State. It's probably not gonna be interesting, but it's a it's a possible upset last year. Man, I'm not really seeing anything. Wisconsin, Purdue. Wisconsin's unranked, but
come on,
they were good at one point in the season. Oklahoma State and Iowa State. That might be a good game.
Oh yeah, your preseason playoff pick. Where are they at?
They not playing too good, man. Don't ask me about that. Man?
What was the bet actually? If Iowa State made the playoffs, I had to get a Iowa State jersey. But my bet was if Oklahoma won the championship, then you had to get a Spencer Rattler jersey. And I don't think either or is going to happen.
I'd rather get a Caleb Williams jersey, honestly. Oh my God. Seeing how that whole thing is playing out.
There's
a post really no today. Interesting matching.
I saw a post today that said if Spencer Rattler enters the transfer portal, these are his best options. And one of them was Georgia.
Yeah. Anyways, moving on. We're not even going to entertain that.
Georgia,
Ohio State.
Ohio State,
crazy. Indiana.
Ohio. This is going to be one of those down weeks.
It's a down week. Good thing Georgia's not playing this week.
Yeah,
honestly. Actually, I would have rather played this week just because it's just such a down week that we would probably played a team like Charleston Southern.
Yeah.
There's no games.
I don't care if we're playing Vanderbilt again. We need that bye week, man. Get that defense back healthy.
Gassed out there.
Yeah, we look gassed against Kentucky in a lot of situations, and I know the thing is like we played a great defensive game. Like we played we're still, regardless of if we look at Georgia or not, defensively we played great. 13 points. They scored by calling a timeout with 3 seconds left. Their last drive took them like 25 plays to score, and it's still a great game. We shut down their big threat. The leading SEC receiver was held to 32 receiving yards. The leading SEC rusher was held to 7 rushing yards. So respectfully, it's still a great defensive performance, but we know Georgia can play a lot better than I feel like they did last week and that they did against Auburn. So that's why I look at it and I'm go, not satisfied. And that's one thing that Kirby has installed in the locker room as well. I hear him talking about it on every press conference. He's like, well, I'm never satisfied. If you allow yourself to be satisfied, then you won't allow the team to improve. So
no, I don't know, man. I was on Instagram today, and I get a lot of my Georgia content from Instagram. So I was scrolling through, and it had a thing that what they still call it Kirby Smart All Access. It's on Georgia's website.
Yeah.
And it was the locker room after the Kentucky game, and he sounded very satisfied on how we played. Especially, I mean, obviously the defense. He was so satisfied at how the defense played, and he was satisfied with the offense's rush game.
Cameron, what do you want him to say? You can't demoralize the team. You know what I mean?
I understand that,
but he also said in his interview at post game conference, he was like, well, we'll look at it Sunday and we'll put the game to rest, because Sunday they're going to come in, they're going to look at film. Then he said that's when we go at it and we break down the errors. He's not going to sit there and tell the conference people, yeah, we played bad today. That's something. If you want a coach to do that, you can hire Dan Mullen. You'll lose 4 or 5 games a year, but you'll have a coach if you want that honesty. But respectfully, man, I think he says the right things there, but deep down he says it every week. We can get better, but you don't. After a win 30-13 against a 6-0 team, with the SEC potentially on the line, you don't go in the locker room and say, man, that sucked. We held them to 13 points. SEC leading receiver had 32 receiving yards on 12 catches. The SEC leading rusher had 7 carries for 7 yards. It's just not what you do, respectfully. I think, once again, I said we defensively, the game was still good, but I know we can play better. And I just feel like it's because we're gassed. And I think that's something Kirby knows too. It's no reason to come at him. And, he knows there's cameras everywhere. He's a smart guy. Come on.
Yeah.
Just like he says, he'll say last year he thought Stetson played pretty good. And respectfully, when you look at it,
was cap.
It's cap, but it showed really that against great teams there was a lot of there's a lot of pressure on him. But maybe we don't put all that on Stetson, because respectfully, Stetson's looked really good this year, like really good, bro. He's making some crazy throws. The offense is still a little too one-dimensional with him, and I think it's because Todd Monken's really scared to use him early in the game. Like, with JT, would come out throwing that thing, slinging it deep. But with Stetson, I feel like Todd's very scared to really dial in early, because we should be using the tight ends way more. And I know yesterday we used them well. PFF had the 2 highest ranked tight ends in the nation were Brock Bowers and Darnell Washington. And surprisingly, Darnell was actually higher than Brock. But, man, we got to keep Brock on the field. We got to keep Darnell on the field, because when we throw to those tight ends, guys really can't stop us. You know what I'm saying? We have a 1-2 punch there, because you got one guy who's big and it can't be guarded and can halfway be tackled. And then you got one guy who plays like a wide receiver. So I think Todd Monken's done a good job installing game plans and really figuring out a way to get Stetson involved. He started the game off really slow, but picked it up obviously in the second half. And our run offense, our run blocking just has to get better. Respectfully, that's one of the big errors. That's our down point, is literally the run blocking, and that's where we have no injuries and we're still struggling. Yeah, we got to figure that out. Matt Luke, please. What are we doing in practice? Week in and week out, that run blocking still looks atrocious.
Our run game has just taken a dip this year.
Yeah.
And I don't understand, because the running back room got nothing but better. So I don't understand what happened.
It's funny because I said this last year in the first video that I ever did great for us. I said that I feel like Georgia, I over-exaggerated by saying we had the worst offensive line, but you could definitely see it last year that this offensive line simply wasn't built the way they were under Sam Pittman. Now, that might be saying like, hey, Sam Pittman is possibly one of the greatest offensive line coaches, in the nation. But you bring in a guy like Matt Luke, and you can see it's night and day when it comes to the run blocking. I mean, the pass blocking, don't get me wrong, is fantastic. But I don't think Matt Luke has done really well at all establishing run blocking. Teaching somebody to block for a pass is easy, because as an offensive lineman, that's what you're really there for. But teaching a guy to run block and pick up blockers and create holes and left, right, that's something that has to be taught. And I don't think Matt Luke has done a great job with that yet. He's still building, but he could do a lot better. And don't forget, Tate Ratledge got injured earlier in the year. We still got a lot of stuff we can do, but Todd, I'm gonna need you to realize our run blocking is not good. So please stop running toss plays on 3rd down and on 4th down. It's not gonna get it done. Please stop.
Honestly, running up the middle has looked so good for us this year, which you probably wouldn't hear me say that a couple years back.
That or the counter runs where we run off to the left side. You know, those have worked pretty good as well. Dude, Brock Bowers, man. Dude's just crazy. Good. He's good, very talented, and he can catch well. I mean, he got up and got a 50-50 ball, outran a defensive back. I mean, how do you stop him? He caught another touchdown on that drive, but it was called back due to pointless holding by Schaefer or block of the back, whatever it was, where he just caught that thing and just ran like it was nothing. And it's just too easy. And I need Todd to see that. I want to see Brock catching 7-8 passes a game. This is his first, I think, career 100-yard game. No, it couldn't have been because he had the 80-yard touchdown against UAB. So I think he had 100 then. But, yeah, I need Todd to get him way more involved in this offense. But Georgia's looking good. I think regardless if we lose to Bama or not, which we shouldn't really, respectfully. But regardless if we lose to Bama or not in the SEC championship, Georgia makes the playoffs. If we can win out this season, we don't have any hiccups. But I'm gonna tell you, like I've told you before, I think our defense is really too good for us to fail. I mean, literally a Kentucky and Auburn is a perfect argument. Our offenses did not show up in the whole first quarter, and we still managed to pull out a W in dominant fashion. So
I was about to say in a very convincing score.
Yeah, that's why I like Bama. With them getting upset, it was the fact that their offense isn't as dynamic as it usually is, and their defense is not good. That's how Bama allowed themselves to get upset. It's quite simple. When you're not a lead on one side of the ball, then you will have a chance to get upset. The thing is Georgia's very elite on defense, so you really don't have a chance to stop them unless you got a crazy high-powered offense. And do you see any of those in the NCAA? You see any high-powered offenses that look unstoppable?
I would have said Ole Miss, but they're not looking so high-powered anymore. Honestly.
Yeah, beating Tennessee by what, 3-4 points? Get out of here, man. Ole Miss, that popcorn, man, that junk's stale. We're getting that out of here. That popcorn is stale a long time ago. Bama humbled them boys. I don't think Lane Kiffin's gonna. I mean, he was trolling on the sideline. It was funny, but yeah, man, that popcorn is stale.
Golf ball, bro.
Dude, somebody asked if that man still had eligibility left. I was crying, bro. Tennessee need whatever they can get to win. But yeah, man.
Oh my God.
Georgia's looking really good. I think we really just had to talk about Georgia because everyone knows we're Georgia fans, and
exactly.
We haven't talked about them in a while, and they've been doing really good. So could this be the year? Maybe, who knows? 2017 part 2. I'll tell you what, possibly. The Braves, if the Braves get past the Dodgers, then this is the year. Because that means that the Atlanta curse has to be broken. Yes. And I'm gonna tell you this: we've come from behind in 2 straight games now against the Dodgers.
Yeah, and one in a walk-off fashion. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, hey, that might be signaling that the curse is broken, but I have no hopes. My hope is nowhere. With the Braves, if it happens, it happens. But even if we win this series, we got 4 more to go. So 6 more wins, Braves, get it done. 6 more wins.
My grandfather, he said the few years when LA has won series, they've always started off down 0-2.
Oh my God.
Yep. That makes me feel a lot better.
Watch, Game 3, they're going to do that BS again where they score like 10 runs in the first inning. Because who's going to even pitch for Game 3? Charlie Morton?
I know. First game was Max Fried. Second one was Ian Anderson. So I don't know who's pitching.
And we beat them with Scherzer, so he can't start. We're in good shape because now Scherzer can't pitch. So we're in pretty good shape.
We beat him with Walker Buehler, didn't we? No, I don't think he's played yet.
Oh, it'll be Walker then. Unless he's injured. I think he's injured. I don't know. Because I haven't really heard from Walker this season. Interesting, whatever. Georgia, Braves, we know you guys Georgia fans. You're probably Braves fans. You're paying attention. We just had to switch to MLB for a minute. But MLB season's in high fashion. NBA starting up soon.
It's Jocktober.
It's Jocktober, baby. Oh, man. Vibes. If only we had Ronald Acuna's firstborn son, man. Only. We almost had it. We almost had the ultimate team. And then next year with Soroka coming back, not going to say that again because I said it last year and he got injured again. So good luck. Georgia, please
pull us out. Please
help us, man. Please help us.
All right, yeah, it's been the Sports Junkie Podcast. So proud to be a junkie today. Please leave a like and a comment. We appreciate all of it. If you don't like the video, hit the dislike button, but we encourage the like button personally. I know he does. That man Kid, he loves the like button. Anyways, it's been your boy Cam. It's been your boy Kid.
Yes,
and we out.
See you soon.